Ouch! I saw that tweet right there.
My God. All the time, man. What's good,
bro? Ward, what's good, King?
Bless, man. Bless. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. You know what's funny? I know me and you going to talk tonight, right? So I made sure I watched the battle again with you and Qleen Paper, man. Did you get a word out when they're going to drop the battle for the match? Did you watch it?
Nah, they didn't let me know. I don't know how long they're gonna run the VOD. You know, usually it's a few weeks that they run the VOD afterwards, but then they'll drop the battle after that. So I assume Disaster and Geechee probably dropped first. I'm not sure. I noticed URL, they promoted the Disaster Geechee announcement, so I don't know if that'll drop on YouTube or if that'll drop over there. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there's some co-branding, but I know my contract says mine drops on YouTube. So
right.
y'all can get to see it.
Well, let me ask you a question. Have you watched the battle, and how many times have you watched the battle since you left Cali?
I watched it twice. Yeah, I watched it twice. Yeah, I watched it back. I think the next day. Thought it was good. That was a nice battle. Enjoyed it. Was just wanted to go back and make sure that like as I watched the media and people talk about it, like I wanted to enjoy it the way that everybody else enjoyed it, So sometimes I go from battles and be like, dang, I hate my performance or something like that. So I'm still hyped that I won or had a good battle in the eyes of the public, but I don't like it. But I did like it. I enjoyed it.
Well, I did a recap on this before you came in, so it's not me saying it's not because you're here. I thought you won the battle a 30, respectfully.
Yeah.
If you want to say the first round, can we agree? The first round's debatable?
Yeah, I mean, I had Ward. Oh, come on, man. I don't know which way I got to turn it. I got Ward 30, man. I got Ward 30, bro. So yeah. So I mean, I agree with you, bro. I agree with you, man.
Yo, you're crazy. You're a character. You're a character. But there's some people out there. Let's be fair now. Shout out to Caps. I saw people on Angry Fans Live yesterday. Some people, when I read the comments, are saying Qleen won the battle. What do you say to that?
Man, he's just a likable guy. He jump in interviews and stuff like that. His charisma and stuff. People want to pay attention. So like his fans, people are watching him on the interviews, and they're obviously like, I'm tuned into a Qleen interview because I like Qleen. So that's what you're gonna get in the comments. But at the end of the day, like yourself, Jay Black, Vodafly, Anwar, even though I'm not a big Anwar fan or whatever.
We know.
And I don't want to be a hypocrite because I don't want to say I agree with him when he says I win and I disagree when he says I lose. But I'm just saying what the culture considers to be reputable, media outlets all have me winning, and the polls have me winning. And so I think that it's important for Qleen to go and do these interviews so that when the battle drops, he can maybe have people looking at that first and third a little bit differently. If he fell back and didn't do any interviews, everybody would be like, Ward clearly won. You know what I mean? But him going in and doing the interviews and stuff and kind of bringing some anticipation to watching it is going to help him. So,
Ward, there was something you said interesting during the battle. You said back basically, I'm paraphrasing now. Obviously, this battle was supposed to happen back in 2018, right?
Yeah.
Would you agree that for you and Qleen, this battle in 2022 is probably better than it would have been in 2018? Probably because I don't know where Qleen was at in his career. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and it was just a 1-round battle. It was a book by my guy Jay, that guy, on a league in Kansas City. Qleen had came out here a couple times, so they kind of had a little bit of a rapport with each other. And so at the time, I think it was like 2018. So I'm just it's kind of before I started like really battling a whole lot. So I took the battle. But yeah, so but no, this is obviously you always want the bigger name guys, on the bigger leagues, the bigger stages, the bigger opportunities. So,
have you been impressed with Qleen the last couple of battles? Him and Gotti against you now, I think he's been very impressive. Or getting back to the Qleen glimpses of the Qleen that we all rock. I'm a big Qleen dude. Qleen was my guy. One, people forget though, man, that this guy had his name on the Smack URL intros before the battle. And you yourself, you showed love to him and a fan when you said you giving him love and praising him for being the original PG stepper.
PG,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do that a lot. Like I try to show respect to my opponents a lot. Like I'm not gonna sit back here and tell you how terrible and trash you are, knowing that I grew up in college watching you and being entertained by what you can be. But I'm also gonna talk to your soul and tell you are Brandon Roy Grant Hill. You are Penny Hardaway. Like we think about, dang, if it hadn't been for this, he would have been this. You know what I mean? And so You know, that's why I think, you know, when it comes down to people picking rounds and different things like that, like battle rap, man, I attack my opponent. I attack them so many different ways. I have so many different weapons, you know. And so, like, you know, I was very entertained. I did enjoy, you know, the lines that I enjoyed of his were the ones that were direct, you know, like this little light of mine and the baptism, you ain't did
That's
nothing,
right.
you know, in the Psalms 27, 3 out of 30, right? Those are for me. So, like, but then, like, the white black mama comparisons, that's cool, but that could be used against any white battle rapper, you know what I mean, type stuff. So,
Was
you
there a
know,
mess up in the Psalms line? Was I hearing it right? The Psalms line was kind of messed up from him.
well, so and I actually like this about him too. We talked about it afterwards. You know, he said Palms 30, right? And the reason he said that is that it's similar to the same reason that None said Cadillac converter. Because right. So everybody knows that you just call them Cadillac converters. And Qleen was like, I don't care if it's Psalms or not. We called it Palms when I was going to church growing up. You know what I mean? So
Right.
he's like, I'm just gonna call it what I called it growing up. You know, I'm not gonna go in here and be all, you know, biblically correct. So I laughed
Right.
at that because I like that, you know, I like that part of your personality showing.
What do you think about? I mean, obviously you're making jokes about it a second ago about him writing on everything like that. Does that bother you at all? Do you chuckle as a competitor when guys bring the phones out or when that's happening? How do you feel about that?
You know, I saw it in the intro, and so I saw it when he stepped into the ring, you know, and I thought, wow, I'm about to dog walk this dude, you know, like I really did because it was like a lot of written stuff on there. I don't know, like if it was full 4 bars, if it was, you know, but there was a lot of like written material on his hand. It was inside his hand, on the backside of his hand, going around, you know, like yeah. So I'm like, man, if you need to know that many things, like you don't got it together. So then he came out with a very entertaining first, and I was like, oh, okay, you know.
Very
And then
entertaining.
when it slipped up in his second, I was like, all right, here it goes. But then he came back with a semi-entertaining third as well. So I was glad, you know, I didn't freestyle about it. I didn't bring attention to it, but even though I had already seen it, and I might kick myself a little bit afterwards. I wonder. I had to look in the mirror and say, Ward, is that dog in you? Like you could have just like started the battle off with like avocado, zoom in on his hands, you know what I mean, and just made a whole big deal about it. But I didn't, you know, and I chose
Why is
not
that
to.
though? Usually you do that though. Why is that? Usually you be on point with that.
And I kind of felt bad. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I know that he had said in his intro that he had a hard time getting there, and then it
Right.
was a hard time getting him to the ring. And like I
Okay.
said, like man, like I felt remorse or whatever. He got to the ring, he didn't look like he kind of looked like he was a little like sick or just kind of like not all there, you know. And like I don't know, maybe that's gonna be my downfall. I guarantee you, if Nitty has anything written on his hands, every line is getting talked about.
Oh man. So do you look at it also because now you might have people saying that he won the battle? Do you feel like, okay, if I would incorporate that rebuttal right there, there'd be no conversation or no debating about no shit like that?
Yeah, you know, like I said, like after his first round, like it was a good round, and I'm like, yo, like maybe he just has this stuff on there, like you know, it just I don't know, maybe his phone's dead. You know, some people look at their phone during rounds or something. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm gonna let the battle go. At no point was I ever worried about losing. You know, like I knew he has good charisma and good personality, but he just don't rap. He don't cadence switch. He don't like punchlines, wordplay, scheming. None of that better than me. He just entertains and he has a good personality. You know, but none of that other stuff is better. So I didn't never feel like I was losing at all. You know.
Are you probably one of the best independent battle rappers right now in the culture? Would you say?
Probably ever, honestly. Like,
let's talk about that, please.
Yeah.
Elaborate, sir. Floor is yours.
Yeah, you know, like I mean, I just kind of look at how I've stuck and moved, right? Like I definitely, you know, shout out to RBE, shout out to King of the Dot, shout out to Riot, shout out to you know, Battle Academy, all these different leagues that I've been on. But you haven't seen like basically like me a staple on one that has just taken me, you know what I mean? Like whereas guys like Pat Stay and Sharon and different guys like that, and you know, Ilmac and different things like that, they've done these different types of things, you know, they have been, you know, so I think I kind of embody that, like, yo, I don't have to just battle in front of a bunch of Canadians in Toronto, you know, and build my brand up there. And then people have to worry like, oh, will that work on this stage? You know, like I took like the local scene. I went to King of the Dot. I went and transitioned easily to RBE. I go to different countries. I go to all different places. You know what I mean? And I still can kind of, you know, perform at the highest level. So that's why I think that.
Was that a shot at Pat Stay because he's in the chat?
Nah, I seen Pat, but that's
I don't
funny.
know.
No, I see him in there, but like he's somebody I consider to be one of the best ever. You know what I mean? And so like, whenever you think of the word independent battler, I think that like you'll look at me and people don't say like, oh, he's a king of the dot battler, and people don't
Right.
say he's an RBE battler or whatever like that. You know, they say he's A Ward and he battles everywhere and he performs at a high level everywhere. You know.
Are you on some Frank Sinatra? I did it my way. Is that the kind of? Is that how you move it now in this culture? Is that how
I'm a control freak, bro. I listen. I play the game and I coach, so I tell myself how many minutes I play and who I want to play against. You know, and I just, you know, like that's just kind of where I'm at. You know, and it's a gift and a curse to that. You know, like because there are definitely huge pros to being able to maybe do something and sit under like a certain league and kind of be that guy or whatever, and maybe sign to a contract and know that
Right.
this is coming around. But yeah, like
No
at the end of the day,
URL questions, A1. I promise you, we're not doing no URL questions. I promise you.
appreciate you.
No
Appreciate you.
URL questions. None of that. I promise you, we're not segueing into that at all. How many battles this year? Am I right? Are you under 16 right now?
I think I'm at 16. Yeah, I think I'm at 16. I did 7 weeks in a row before Clean Paper. And so, you know, like one of the things that kind of I don't say irritates me is a lot of times when people come in after the battle and start having like excuses, you know, and
Right.
like, you're lucky I did this or you're lucky I did that or whatever. Like, it's like, man, like I could easily be like, bro, I wrote every line for you Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then battled on Friday. You know, like I could easily kind of like play those things or whatever. I battled seven weekends in a row leading up to the battle. You know what I mean? But that's not how I am because I feel like it doesn't take me very long to be at the top of my game. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that I only take battles knowing that I can actually do that. You know, like I can perform at a high level regardless of, you know, of that particular time, you know? But, you know, then again, like I'm not going to pigeonhole myself and take a battle with, you know, somebody, you know, on 2 or 3 weeks notice if I know I got a lot of other stuff going on too. So
that's a lot of writing, Ward.
Bro, it never stops, bro. It never stops. I just finished my Kang material. I got Kang on iBattle the week before Nitty, so I just finished his material 3 days ago because I'm like, I need to get that out of the way because I really want 3 solid weeks to focus all on Nitty, you know?
Is that 3 rounds with Kang and Staten Island?
Kang is 3 90-second rounds. So, you know, Mike P had to back out of the battle to do his URL battle, so they needed a replacement. So I just told him, I was like, you know, I can do that. But I wanted to stick to, you know, smaller rounds just because, you know, of the fact. But I took that battle before they called about Rum Nitty. So then when they called about Rum Nitty, I was like, whew, I'm glad I told him 90-second rounds, you know.
He battled Bill Collector, right? Kang, right?
Yeah, he battled Danny Myers, Bill Collector, Saga, Drugs, Real Deal. Like he's battled a lot of top names.
Do you go through writer's block? No pun intended. Do you go through writer's block?
Yeah. I go through like idea block. You know what I mean? Like I always feel like I can write because I can freestyle. So I can literally write rounds every day. Now, are they going to be rounds that I like? That's the thing about it. You know, you are at your best when you're delivering rounds that you really love. You know, so I feel like I can write, you know, as much as I want every day. But I go through idea block, you know what I mean? And it's like trying to be creative and trying not to sound like the last battle and trying to bring different, fresh things to battle rap, you know? And so that's where sometimes, you know, like I need that 3 weeks or whatever. So I can have a week to brainstorm. I can have a week to, you know, cut out all of the filler. I can write 4 or 5 rounds and bring them down to 2, 3 really good ones. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of, you know, why I like to have more ample time for bigger opponents on bigger stages. So,
Are you worried about oversaturation?
Not yet, but it can get there. I mean, at this point, like I'm battling so much, but I'm still considered to be at the prime of my career, probably the best I've ever been. What people would say, you know, like last year, the Ill Will battle was really, really good. The Geechee Gotti battle at the end of the year was really, really good. Nobody was like, you know, there was one battle last year where people might have been like, or 2 battles where people might have been like, all right, maybe he's a little, you know, fatigued. And that was probably the Rosenberg Raw battle and the XL battle, you know? And so far this year, you know, when I go to smaller leagues and I talked about this one time before, you know, I look at the big battles like my songs and the smaller leagues like my features. You know, when you do a feature, cool, that's dope. Like I'll share it. You know what I mean? Like I'm proud of my verse or whatever. That's your project that I came to help out with. you know, but when it comes to my songs or whatever, you know, if I'm putting out trash songs, then I really need to reconsider how much time I'm doing features in the lab, if that makes sense.
So you have Kang in Staten Island on August 27th, and then September 3rd, you and the alien, Mr. Nitty, on the riot. Is this your second time on the riot, right? Or third time? Second, right?
It is my second, right?
Second,
yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah. Because Coffee didn't show up. Coffee didn't show up. So it's my third time being booked, but yeah.
How is that composition book looking for Rum Nitty? Are you in? How's that composition book looking, Warren? Right?
Yeah.
Rum Nitty right now. Where you at right now with your rounds though? How far are you in the rounds?
I just have basically a page full of ideas, really. You know, that's all I'll scatter different things. If I think of a punchline, like sometimes I write backward. You know, sometimes people just write and rhyme and then they think of the punchline. I'll think of the punchline and write backwards, you know, whatever it may be. So if I think of a good flip or good something like that, you know, I'll jot it down. And basically what'll happen is I'll scatter all these ideas, all these punchlines or whatever, and then about 2 weeks before the battle, I'll start building the rounds. I'll start getting transition statements. I'll start plugging different pieces and saying, I want to talk about this in the first, or maybe this fits in the second or third, and I'll kind of do the surgery on it per se, you know. So now all the food's on the plate, and then before I bring it to the table, I got to dress it all up. So right now I'm just kind of throwing ideas together.
I got to give you guys your props, man, because you know it's so different in hip hop music when the artist got to sing the same song every night, right? You guys got fresh material every trip. You know the battle rap policeman out there. Hey, boy, you recycle that line. He said they be outside. You know what I'm saying?
No punching in the studio. You can punch in. You can. You know. All right, next take. You get one chance. You know, and that's why being a good freestyler or just being very, very well prepared is so important, because, you know, like that camera, it don't hide, you know, everything, you know, it sees everything. So.
Are you the favorite going into the battle? Or I don't think you care about none of that type of conversation with Nitty, right? You care about that at all?
I don't really care about the favorite. I think that I would say people probably have him favored. You know what I mean? It's a little. I think there are more people that doubt me than there are the people that doubt Nitty, if that makes sense.
Elaborate for me. Give me some more.
I think people know that I'll show up and do a great job or whatever, but I think that in people's mind, like, Nitty is undeniably top 5 in the world battle rapper, you know? And I think, like, my peers, some media outlets and people like that say, yo, Ward finished 5th in Champion of the Year, or he's been in the top 10 and been in the top 20s or whatever. But there's still speculation on me, you know, for certain reasons that we kind of know about. So that's why you see people in the comments saying Nitty's gonna smoke you, Nitty 3-0, you ain't got nothing for Nitty or whatever. And that's just a testament to, like, how good he is. But then it's also just a testament to how, you know, people look at me like, you know, like, they want to find a reason to not believe that I'm going to win a battle. And that's every battle I've had, probably in the last 77 or however many I got. So,
well, you know, some people feel, I say myself, I had you beating Geechee Gotti twice, respectfully. Do you feel Nitty looks at that and is like, yo, dogs, I got to get revenge for my fellow Crip brother over here. We can't have his brother come to the riot. You know?
You know, I think Nitty is just he's a businessman, you know? Like, I think he's gonna come out there and he's gonna rap, and he's gonna rap really, really well.
Right.
I do, however, I mean, he jumped out the window talking about how he's gonna rebuttal every round and stuff like that. And so
I like that.
I think that's a testament to me. Like, Nitty didn't do that against Swamp in a tournament. He didn't, you know. So I think what y'all will see is y'all see him trying to rebuttal. You might see angles from Nitty. You might see some things because I think he has a respect for me. You know what I mean? And I think he knows that if he doesn't come in there, if he just comes in there punchline for 3 rounds, then it's a very good a possibility that he loses.
Whoa, sir. Are you trying to tell me if Nitty punches you for 3 rounds, he can't beat you? He can't beat you on? With 3 rounds, man. Is that what you telling me, fam?
I'm just letting you know, bro. Like, at the end of the day, like, if you only punch for 3 rounds, then I'm comparing your rounds. Which round had the better punches in it, right? If I'm comparing your rounds against you, if I'm comparing your rounds against yourself, I'm not comparing them against your opponent, right? So then there's gonna be one round that wasn't as good as the next one, and that's a round I can take because people will visually say, yeah, he got crazy with all the punches in that first. He kind of fell off a little bit in the second. He kind of got back to it, you know. If I do everything, if I do all kinds of stuff every round or whatever, I'm attacking from all sides, then, you know, it can present, you know, a tougher a matchup for him. So
And like somebody said on the bottom, you can punch all you want. Are they gonna land? Right? Is that how you look at it also?
Yeah, I watched him versus Swamp, and I thought, I mean, he's incredible, man. He name flips and he punches on such a high level. But after so long, as a fan, I'm watching it like, another page flip, another page, and it's a good flip. But I'm like, another one, another. All right, okay, like, and so that's just kind of how I watch it.
There goes that A-Ward dry sense of humor.
Yeah.
Yo, but let me ask you: do you think you and Ward can have the C word?
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, I think we can. Yep. I think we can.
Don't say. We know. Don't say it. I don't want to drink it though. But you think so?
Yeah, we both are two battlers that perform at a very, very high level. It's a very highly anticipated battle. It's a main event battle on a great platform. Yeah, easily. If he gets in a rebuttal bag and then I'm rebuttaling and he's rebuttaling and he's punching at a high level and I'm doing what I do, like easily, yeah.
We got Reed, QB, Qleen, Rosenberg, 2-on-2 this year, right? Don Marino and a bunch of other battles, right? And
man, yeah.
like that, man.
QB, Reed Dollars, Clean Paper, Don Marino, Bars Major, T-Double, yeah, there's that the 2-on-2, to right now, to me is the best 2-on-2 that's happened this year. So but yeah, definitely a lot of good ones.
When they talk about the Midwest battle rappers, right, or the new Midwest and everything like that, do you feel your name gets in that conversation? I mean, it should be, but do you feel your name gets talked about enough in that conversation? I should ask you.
I think it gets looked over a little bit because I think people just geographically are not really like hip to like Kansas City being a part of Midwest battle rap. Like Ohio has a huge thing going on with Cleveland and Fonz and different things, but then mostly it's St. Louis, it's Michigan. You know what I mean? It's Detroit, Pontiac, or whatever, and that's kind of like the main focal point of Midwest battle rap. Chicago, and different things like that, and they all kind of work together. And then Kansas City is kind of just like over here, you know what I mean? And like with like Marasha, who was one of the best, battle rappers to ever come out of Kansas City. Right. You know what I mean? Very fire when I started battling or whatever. To be like one of the very few that's ever like touched a main stage from Kansas City, I think that my city gets kind of forgotten. But the minute that you mention me like in a tweet, what about Ward? They're like, oh snap, I forgot about Ward, Right. And I think it's more geographically, not like my talent. But yeah, I mean, it's always super flattering to be mentioned among the JCs and the Mac Myrons and Ill Wills and all of those guys that are continuing to put on crazy battles.
What's your relationship with Emmanuel Acho? Where did you Acho relationship?
That's my guy.
Where did that come from?
Yeah,
sports,
funny story.
I know you're a sports guy. So, but yeah.
Yeah, so he's playing for the Eagles at the time. He's a believer as well, and I think that he saw my first ever battle. And my first ever battle went viral. It got like 50,000 views in a week or whatever. And I think he said he was driving from Philly back to Austin, Texas, because he played at the University of Texas. And he was just like oh wait, Christian battle rap. He just put it on in the car while he was driving. Wow. Watched my battle. Then he watched like street hymns, and then he saw sagas and stuff like that. And he kind of just got like kind of stuck on it or whatever, And then like. Since then, we've just kept in touch. We've been good friends. We talk football, talk sports, talk all that good stuff or whatever.
Very intellectual dude, man. I love how he breaks down sports, man. Very intellectual dude, man.
Yeah.
Him and Marcellus Wiley doing a great job over there, man.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, in what he does, he entertains. He's a TV personality. You know what I mean? So like he draws from the inspiration of battle rap as he sees me being an entertainer. I draw from seeing him, and how, everything that you watch, man, how people work cameras, how people, facial expression, different things like that. It can all be an asset to you as an entertainer, and so we both, draw from that. So every time I'm in LA, he always invites me over, have dinner, watch Monday Night Football or watch whatever, just kick it. But yeah, just a real solid dude.
So is Acho a horseman on the low?
Yeah, low key he is. Low key he's a horseman.
All right. Before I let you go here, I saw you put on Instagram the other day. I put up a 5 that you had. You had a 5 of you, Real Deal, Chilla, Marv Quest. All right. I got a score for you, all right?
All right.
Put 2-on-2, I got Shining DNA. Can I do that?
Shining DNA, okay. Against Quest and Marv?
Right. Now, I kept it with the white brothers, all right? I kept it the white team, all right? I kept it the white brothers. I got none of Sharon.
Against me and Real Deal.
Yes.
Okay. Individually or a 2-on-2?
Individually.
Okay. All right.
I got Danny Myers.
So you would have to do Danny Myers versus Chilla, right? And then you would have Real Deal versus Sharon, that's already happened in Real Deal 1.
Danny and Chilla 2 happened to, but rematch.
Yeah.
Rematch.
Yeah, and then me and None, and then the DNA and Shine and Question Marv.
Yeah. I try to do something. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So
why you give me the easy one? Why you give me the easy one?
Yeah, I like the easy one, right? Right.
Nah.
So August 27th, Kang and Staten Island, right?
Yes, Staten Island Kang, then the next week Nitty.
Then tour, right?
Then the tour, 10 weekends in a row, city near everybody that's on here. If you just go to my Instagram, almost every weekend is 3 shows, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we're almost 30 cities in. And yeah, we'll be out. It's a great show, man. It's interactive. It's poetry. Then there's like VIP. We do game night. So pop up at 6 o'clock. We play like some kind of crazy games, stuff like that, man. Just kind of chop it up with people. But it really is dope, man. There's a lot of talent. People think, oh, poetry. No, we're just gonna have a scarf around the microphone and we just gonna be snapping. But it's not like that, man. It's really not. It's definitely bar heavy. It's interactive LED screens, like all kinds of stuff going on at the same time. So, that's really exciting, man. One of the things I love to do is to bring new eyes on battle rap. So no matter what, like we're going out here with poets and we're doing stuff where a good portion of these people in these buildings have no clue about battle rap. So to be able to get hundreds of people every weekend, to say, oh, I'm going to follow Loso or Street Hymns or A Ward, and now I'm going to watch their battles. And now, I don't know how many times people have just watched me because they're like, oh, a Christian battle rapper. And then I find out they're going to Real Deal's battles and buying his merch and like they're supporting all of these other guys. And that's super dope to me. That's ultimately what the goal is like, go check out these other super talented artists,
All right. Ward, man, let's talk after September 3rd, you and Nitty, man. Let's talk about these bars, man.
I'm going to still be alive. Don't worry.
I appreciate you, King. You know the vibes, man.
You already know it's 3 beating, man.
My brother.